Hey. Hey guys, what's up? It's Savannah. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another YouTube video. I was trying to say true crime video. That's not what this is. First off, I want to say if the sound sounds weird, if the sound sounds weird, I'm currently in my shower. You are in my shower with me. That's disgusting. But we're in my shower because I'm not currently at my house right now. I'm currently in Tennessee, in a very, very teeny tiny town in Tennessee, and I don't have like my regular setup, so this is what we're working with today. And as you guys can tell by the title of today's video, today we are doing a what would Sav do. I haven't done a what would Sav do in so freaking long. And I would like to point something out, because when I asked you guys on Instagram, which if you don't follow me on Instagram, you should. It's just at Savannah Brimer. It's always in the description box. I usually snap because I put it right here. I'm probably gonna forget. When I asked you guys on Instagram to send me in what would Sav do questions, you guys started roasting me because you thought I was asking you to send in like things that I do that are quirks, or like weird things that I do, or weird things that you think I would do. That's not what this is. If you don't know what would Sav do, it is where we go through your question and things going on in your life and what you want to know, and I apply it to me and what I would do in your situation. That's basically what would Sav do is. And before we get started, we are going to quickly talk about today's sponsor for this video, which is Hunt a Killer. If you guys have been watching me for a while, you know that I've been talking about Hunt a Killer for a very, very long time now, and that is because I love Hunt a Killer. If you have never heard of what Hunt a Killer is before, Hunt a Killer is a murder mystery subscription box, and it's honestly one of the most unique and fun games that I have ever played. Through this subscription box, you help in an investigation so you can hone in on your detective skills from the comfort of your own home. With each subscription box, you will sift through piles of documents, evidence, audio recordings, and case files, eliminating suspects and identifying murder weapons until you crack the case and catch the killer. It's honestly like an escape room delivered right to your door. You guys have asked me a lot in the past what I would be doing if I wasn't doing YouTube, and I've always said I would be some sort of detective, which is why I absolutely love Hunt a Killer, because it really lets you live out your detective dream. You can play Hunt a Killer by yourself, you can play it with your significant other, you can play it with your family, you can play it with your friends. It is completely customizable to your lifestyle and however you want to do it. I have played Hunt a Killer with myself, and I have also played it with my friends, and each are equally as fun. And Hunt a Killer isn't just a quick and easy kind of look at a case and solve it type of thing. You're going to be walked through a complete narrative of suspects and their backgrounds and their relationships with one another. It's such a cool interactive experience. Probably one of my favorite things about Hunt a Killer is that part of the proceeds of their boxes are donated to the actual Cold Cases Foundation, which is an organization that is completely dedicated to helping solve real life cold cases. So while you're playing an interactive game, you're also supporting an amazing cause as well. So if you guys want to try out Hunt a Killer, all you have to do is click the link in the description box below. My code will be right up here on the screen. It is just Savannah, and by using code Savannah, you will get 20% off your first box with Hunt a Killer. Again, that is just code Savannah, and you'll get 20% off your first box. So thank you, Hunt a Killer, for sponsoring this video. Now let's move on to the rest of it. Okay, so I asked you guys on Instagram. Not gonna lie, you guys, I have had a couple, I'm not gonna say that. So these are all your what would Sav do questions. There's a lot of them, so we are going to get right on into it. My ex has been sleeping with my friend, and they both lied about it. How do I deal with it? Very, very simple in this one. This one is very simple. It's easier said than done, but it is very simple. You drop them. You drop both of them. Because here's the thing, it's one thing to do it, it's another thing to lie about it. There at least needs to be some separation for a while, especially from your friend. Like your ex, men are trash. Like, sorry, so I would take some space, whether that's for forever or whether that's a temporary time where she can then show you that she deserves to earn your trust again. But I would say drop them. because why do you want people like that in your life? My boyfriend and I have been dating for over a year and I still haven't met his parents. Okay, this one's kind of tricky because I think it's circumstantial. I think that a couple things depend in this case. Like, first, do his parents live nearby? Second, have you brought this up to him? And if not, then you should. And if you have, what has he said? Has he just kind of brushed it off like it's no big deal? Or has he given you a valid excuse? And has he told you, like, I don't want my parents to meet you because of XYZ? Does he not have a good relationship with his parents? Like, there's a lot of different factors that come into play in this circumstance. So this one's a little bit, like I said, more circumstantial, but I think that this is a definite conversation that needs to be had, especially if it's something that's important to you. I would have the conversation, and if his reasoning seems valid, then I would kind of give him that. There's only like 3 valid excuses, or maybe 2. One, they live far away and you just haven't been able to meet them yet, which if that's the case, like FaceTime's a thing and Zoom's a thing, so I don't know. Or 2, there's some family history there that he's not comfortable with like opening up to you about, if that makes sense. So if that's the case, then you kind of have to be patient with that. And ultimately it comes down to you. If this is something that's a deal breaker for you, then reevaluate. But if it's not, then you kind of have to be patient with it. A guy has asked me out 3 times and canceled 3 times. Kind of has reasons, kind of doesn't. And now he told me he wants to go out, but still hasn't given details. I kind of have a 3 strikes rule, right? Like 3 strikes, you're out. So if you cancel on me 3 times, you're done. You're absolutely done. Like, unless you have the most valid excuses in the world and can give proof of those excuses, you're done to me. Here's the thing. Here's the major thing that like we as a society need to process. We let these people like that don't matter come into our lives and like completely mess with our minds, and that shouldn't be a thing. Like, everyone's guilty of it at one point or another, but this is what I've learned like over time. This might be a stupid analogy, and it probably is, but listen to me on this. How many people do you pass by in your life on a day-to-day, right? Probably a lot. There's probably a lot of people that you pass by, maybe not now because we're in a global pandemic, but besides the pandemic, like on a regular freaking Wednesday, when you're walking around, you're passing people in cars, you're passing people in the store, the grocery store, CVS, the movies, the club, wherever you're going, you're passing people. And you're passing people that you don't give a shit about, right? You're passing people that don't matter to you. You're passing people that don't matter, where they are the supporting role in your life. They don't even have a role in your life because they're that insignificant. But here's where you have to kind of like think for a second, because in their life, they're the main character and you're just someone that they're passing by. But my bigger point in this is that you pass by so many people on a day-to-day that you don't care about. So why is it that when someone comes into your life that hasn't given you any benefit, someone who has not enhanced your life in any way, someone who hasn't positively impacted you in any way, why are we stressing? Why are we stressing? Answer me that. What I'm trying to say here is that no one should be able to have such an impact on your mental state because you pass 1 million people a day and you don't think twice about it. One guy or girl walks in and all of a sudden it's like we can't think straight all of a sudden. Why are we doing that? Have they benefited anything to you? Have they added anything into your life? No, they haven't. So in this case in particular, this dude has canceled on you 3 times. I don't care if he's reached out to you first. I don't care if he was interested first. You cut him off because that's a waste of your time. That's what you do. You're teaching them how far they can reach and how many buttons they can push. We don't want to do that. And the reason we don't want to do that is because they're just going to keep pushing buttons and they're just going to keep reaching and they're just going to keep making you upset. So we're not going to do that. Okay, debating on whether or not to be a hoe or focus on myself post 3-year relationship breakup. I feel you on that. I realized that the most important thing in your life always is going to be yourself. You're never going to be able to show up for other people if you can't show up for yourself. And you're never going to be able to love other people if you can't love yourself. I wouldn't call it a hoe. I would not call it being a hoe. I would just call it being single. Like, you're single. You can do what you want. You're allowed. That's the beauty of being single. You're not in a relationship. You're not committed. So you can go and do what you want and have a good time. I don't think you have to fully commit to one or the other. Like, you're committing to being a hoe so you can't focus on yourself, or you're focusing on yourself so you can't like live a single life. You know, I think that there's a lot of room for both. I don't understand why you can't have both. I think both. I'm confused on this guy's intentions. I don't know if he wants a girlfriend or is just in it for the hookup. Okay, here's the thing that I have realized and learned. When people don't want to ask these types types of questions, because my first answer to you would be ask, like communicate, ask that question. If y'all are grown enough to be hooking up, you're grown enough to have the conversation as to what are we, or what is this, or what are you looking for. You're grown enough for that conversation. But I find that a lot of people don't want to have that conversation because they already know the answer deep down in their subconscious, and they don't want to hear an answer that they don't want to hear. But sometimes that's necessary for you to hear that and be like, oh, okay, that's not what I want. I'm not just looking for a hookup, and I'm not going to involve myself anymore. You can find a hookup somewhere else with someone you don't have feelings for, because what's going to happen when you start hooking up with the same person over and over again, not really knowing what their deal is or what their intentions are, is you're going to grow an attachment more likely than not. And so your options here are to, one, just accept the uncertainty and keep doing what you're doing and not really know what the deal is and what's going on and just kind of live with that. Or two, you can actually take control of the situation and ask what he's looking for. And if he tells you he's just looking for a hookup and that's not something that you want, you get to make that decision as to whether or not you're going to continue it or not based off of your personal needs and what you want out of this person. If he tells you he only wants a hookup and you're looking for a relationship, I promise you what he won't do, his best friend will. All right, two guys are involved. What would Sav do? One has a future for him, wants a serious relationship, but it would be long distance. Second one, we are in the same city. He wants a serious relationship. Future is a bit more questionable, and he has a baby. Both are very caring and attentive, and they do make me feel some type of way. This strictly comes down to which one you like better. You have two fantastic options. Personally, I don't believe that someone having a kid or like having a baby, and I know that's not what you meant in this, but someone having a baby to me like isn't a full deal breaker. You just have to know that you're stepping into a different situation and a probably more complex situation. Personally, I don't want to get involved in anyone's baby mama drama. I just don't want to do it. But that doesn't mean that this guy's not a great guy. When he said he's very caring and very attentive, and he lives in the same city, so that's a perk. Or I would keep feeling it out until you have more of a solid answer. If you had to be stuck in an elevator with one of them for 24 hours, which one would you want it to be? Think of it that way. This is kind of a different question that we've ever answered on this, and it's you're in high school and you have the ability and resources to accomplish insane goals right now, but your friend group isn't supportive and you know they're dragging you down. However, it's high school and it's tough to find a new group. Do I stick it out or get rid of them? I don't want to be the weird one, but I know what I can accomplish. I think that this is so badass, and I think that this is so dope that you're recognizing your own potential. If you're with people that are dragging you down constantly and draining you of your potential and draining you of your energy, I don't care where you're at. I think that you 100% need to just slowly distance yourself and focus on your goals and what you can accomplish. I think that you'll be very surprised what can happen when you surround yourself with not negative people. And I promise you, being by yourself and being in your own space with your own energy is so much better than being surrounded by negativity and people that are constantly dragging you down. Who cares? High school is so temporary, and once you get out of it, you realize how temporary it is and how nothing matters. So I dated a guy a while ago. He has a girlfriend, but hit me up because he saw me at work and he flirts with me. Are you interested? Because what would Sav do? I wouldn't do anything in this situation. Personally, I would leave it alone. I wouldn't do anything. I would not intrude. I would not make a move. I would not text him back. I would not do any of those things. If it gets repetitive and if it gets constant, maybe consider talking to the girlfriend, but I wouldn't do that until it was like absolutely necessary. So for me, I wouldn't do anything in this situation because you said he hit you up first. He saw you at work. He flirts with you. Act like you don't give a shit. Act like you don't care, because you want to know why? You don't. What do you do when a guy is just overall a dry person? He puts in no effort but says he fucks with you. Okay, so after a while, you will learn that actions speak so much louder than words. Their actions will speak volumes as to how they feel about you. And here's the thing, you guys. Here's what I think we all need to understand. Now, I can only speak for myself and I can speak from my own experiences. But when I talk to guys, like my friends and things like that, like guy friends and whatever, and I talk to them about this, we all come down to this exact same agreement, and I'm going to share it with you. And that is that guys are so simple, and they are so easy. And what I mean by that is that there is no guy in this world that is going to do something he doesn't want to do. Never, not one. There is no guy in this world that is going to do something he does not want to do. Whether that's texting you, whether that's calling you, whether that's FaceTiming you, whether that's seeing you in person, whether that's asking you out, whether that's anything under that book. So my point in that is if he's not doing something, and I mean like in his blatant free time. I don't mean like when he's busy with work or school or anything like that. I mean in his blatant free time, if he's not wanting to hang out with you and making it an effort to see you or talk to you or show you that he cares, it's because he does not want to. Let's hear it again. It's because he does not want to. And I hate to say that because I know how harsh it sounds, but I think we really need to kind of understand how easy guys are. Their code is so easy to crack, I promise you. And there are some guys out there, I will say, there are some guys who deserve some points because they're very manipulative and they're very sneaky. And when I say points, I mean kind of like punches to the head, but whatever, we'll go with points. For the most part, guys are so simple. And I think we as girls who like guys give them way too much credit because we are like, oh my God, they play so many games. Oh my gosh, he's doing this. He's texting me one day, not another. If a guy wants you, you'll know. If he doesn't, you'll be confused. Done. I started talking to this person and I've gotten really close with them, but then I realized who they were. It's my best friend's sister's ex from 5 years ago. So your best friend's sister's ex. This is a conversation you're gonna have with that person, with your best friend's sister's ex or with your best friend, and just kind of feel the waters out. Like, it was 5 years, so I know personally if like one of my friends started dating someone that I used to talk to 5 years ago, like I would not give the slightest bit of a fuck. But I do know that there's some people who would, and it all just depends on relationships and the situation and the circumstance. So I would talk to your best friend or your best friend's sister directly and just be like, listen, what are your feelings about this person? How did it end? Because your loyalty should lie with them at the end of the day over this guy that you're talking to, because there's a million of them and only one of your best friends. So my best friend's ex keeps flirting with me and inviting me over. He's also my best friend's crush, and it would kill her if she knew anything was happening. Do I go for it? No, you don't. You don't do it because, again, there's one of your best friend and there's a million, I promise you a million, actually more. There's literally billions of guys like that in the world that you will find that your best friend isn't having a crush on. So that's what I would say to that. I read this so wrong. Some girl said started sleeping a lot and started liking a lot and sleeping with the guy my cousin has been talking to. I read that as I've been sleeping a lot with my cousin. This was about to turn into a whole different video. You've been sleeping with the guy your cousin likes and now she hates you. Okay, listen, here's what you have to do in this type of situation. You just kind of have to own up to your shit. You have to own up to your mistake, which was sleeping with the guy that your cousin liked, and you have to talk to her about it and you have to apologize. Because here's the thing, if you knew that your cousin liked this guy and you slept with the guy, she's obviously not going to be very happy. What is she going to do? Jump up for joy? No, she's not. She's going to be upset. You just kind of have to own up to it and be like, I'm sorry, and tell her that your relationship with her, if you guys are close, because if you guys aren't close and this is just like some guy that she like has a crush on that like doesn't know her or like whatever, then that's kind of a different situation. But if you guys are close and like she knows him and he knows her and it's kind of like a sticky situation, which it kind of sounds like it is, you just kind of have to own up to it and you have to back off from the guy that your cousin is talking to. This seems to be the theme here. Y'all are getting into bed with people that your friends, best friends, cousins, sisters, whoever like. Why are we doing that? Why are we doing that? Let's ask ourselves this for a second. Why are we doing that? I'm not gonna lie, I've done it myself. It does not end well, so I understand what you're doing, but stop it. It's too much drama. That's the thing. You're putting yourself through too much drama for someone who doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, the people that you're sleeping with don't matter as much as your best friends, your family members. They don't matter as much as the people closest to you do. There's a million people out there that you can hook up with, and I get it. It's wanting something that you can't have, and it kind of makes it exciting. But at the end of the day, you're hurting the people that love you the most, and that is not worth the 15 seconds that Johnny's gonna give you on a Saturday night. I'm sorry. Okay, this one's kind of a little bit more serious, and it says, how do you deal with something so traumatic that you can't tell anyone about? I have dealt with this, and it's a really, really tough situation, but you definitely learn how to lean on yourself more than ever, and you learn how strong you are. So if you are not comfortable or can't, for whatever reason, tell anyone, if there's not anyone that you can trust with that information, then you just have to really rely on yourself and go through it, and know that no matter what the traumatic situation is, day by day, you will be going through the motions and processing everything, but each day it will get better. And I know it might not feel like that now, especially in this stage where you feel like that you can't trust anyone with this and you can't tell anyone, no one can find out, and you feel like you're carrying such a heavy burden. My first piece of advice would be to look to the people around you and try to find one person you confide in. Something that you could do is journal and just kind of like write out everything you're feeling, and just have a way to express yourself, whether that's journaling, or if it's not journaling, maybe painting or music or sports or going to the gym, doing something where you're going to be able to focus your energy on something else that's going to be able to kind of get everything out of you, if that makes sense. Should I shoot my shot even though we're in quarantine? Absolutely. I think that this is a perfect time. Like, why not? What else do they have going on? Like, really, what else are they doing? Like, definitely should shoot your shot. Set up a Zoom date. That'd be so fun. Like, just be like, or FaceTime date. All right, you guys, that is going to be it for this What Would Sav Do. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you are new here, hi, my name is Savannah. I make videos 3 days a week, or at least I try to. Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday. You should subscribe and join the family. I love you guys so much, and I'll be back in a couple days with a brand new one. Bye, guys.